how many people can wake up and say like, I dance.
Yeah.
I dance. I get to walk into corporate spaces as a dancer, as myself, without having to change myself and be free and actually get respect.
I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues. Told him that I gotta go, dog. I'm riding a road job.
What is up, you absolute weapons? Welcome to episode 9 of None of Your Business. My name is Calvin Branson, and I'll be sitting down with entrepreneurs from all walks of life to talk about their successes, failures, and how to make an impact. We have officially launched the None of Your Business website, which will be the platform used to organize some exciting things in the future. Please check it out and subscribe to the mailing list so you don't miss any episodes or updates. You can find the link in the description below. If you haven't already, please like this video, smash that subscribe button, and turn post notifications on. Every bit of love goes a long way. On the show today, we have the co-founder of Kryptonite Dance Academy. They have been operating for almost a decade, and they won SA's Got Talent in 2016. Ladies and gents, this is Eugene Baloyi. So what is your business? What do you do today?
Okay, cool. So I am the co-founder of Kryptonite Dance Academy and Kryptonite Creatives, and our new business is Kryptonite Online. So it's basically our business deals with dance. We create content, we teach people how to dance also, and then we provide content for artists and brands.
And how old are you?
So I am 30. I just turned 30.
Ah,
Crazy.
nice. And how long have you been doing this for? How long have you been in this industry?
Yeah, I actually started dancing when I was 12, hey? So professionally, and I actually hit the ground running from that point because I started traveling internationally from that age, actually. So I would say I've been doing for almost 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And running a business, we're almost 10 currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Epic. And so just give us a bit of a history. So how did you get things going with this academy?
Yeah.
What were the beginning stages? Where did the idea stem from?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So funny story with us. We actually started off as we went from just being dancers, then we created a dance crew. So that's where the name Kryptonite Dance Academy came from. We actually
So you were
had a
individual
dance crew.
dancers and then you made a crew?
Yes, we were individual dancers. I had another partner before my business partner. His name is Durki. So it was just DNG, and then we moved into creating Kryptonite crew with myself, Zoe, and Durki. Then later on, the crew actually, like I mentioned, we actually became the first crew to become world champions.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That's epic.
Nice. And we defended our title, and so we were 2 times world champions, and then we created a junior crew that also became world champions as
So
well.
just taking over.
We were just did that, and we got the opportunity in 2013 to go through to the World Sports Federation competition in Taiwan. So that was actually because if you know, right now, I think for 2024, France, breakdancing is going to be included into the Olympics. So we did the trial then already in 2013 where they selected all the bass dance crews and bass dancers around the world, and they put them together by the Olympics community to try see how this event would work. Yeah. So basically that was my last international event, because I was like, I feel like now I've done it all. How can I do anything past this? I mean, you're almost close to the Olympics into that. So that led to us at the end of 2013 starting the business. Myself and Zoe broke away from the crew while everyone else went their separate ways. Some people started doing work. Some people started families. I mean, we were still studying, but we felt that it was always a dream of us to have a building of our own and something that dancers could call their own as well. Mm-hmm. So as much as we are a dance academy, we call this place a dancers hub, because it's
a hub.
Yeah, a dancers hub, because it's not just for just coming and learning. It's for you. It's like we want creatives to be able to live here. So we even have artists that come in, and if they want to still rehearse, they come in and they do their thing, and vice versa. So that was in 2013. We started off in a small little 100 square meter building that was very tiny. It's like we are sitting in a 400 square meter building.
Okay. So literally a quarter of the size.
It was quite a big jump, and man, we did that with basically all our teaching money that we used to have in the beginning, that was the capital that we started.
That you accumulated.
We accumulated. So start off...
Do you know what number that was to start off? What
start off
was
that business was 100K.
100K,
yeah.
okay.
So my partner and I just put together, we went 50-50 straight.
Yeah.
And we put together the 50K, and that included just putting down the rentals and then putting up all the necessary equipment that we needed.
Yeah.
And that dealt with that. And what was crazy about that is we had one student for like about 2 or 3 months.
Just one student the
whole time. But what we did is we leveraged off of our previous network, because like I said, we used to teach for other people. So what we did is when we established ourselves, we made everyone that we used to teach privates come to us. Mm-hmm. So from the outsider's perspective, the space was always full. It was always vibey, but no one knew that that's just private clients. It's not necessarily like the academies, but it attracted more people to come in and walk in. So within that 3 months, we actually, by the time we were done with those private students, we had a full lineup of clients that were supporting us.
Was that ever quite like demotivating, only having one client for 3 months? Did you ever feel a bit demotivated, or was it just powered through? And
I think the excitement, passion of what we were doing, because I mean, we went from dancing in a school hall for about 12 years to actually owning our own building. Well, we were renting it, but I mean, we had our own building that was customized to the way we wanted. It had graffiti, it had walls, it had proper dance floors. So just the idea of like, at that time, my partner was 21 and I was 23. So it's like, we are kids, but we have our own place where we can call our own home. So that was always exciting. And funny enough, with that, I used to also do like gigs at the same time. I actually jumped on my first dance tour. And my first tour was with Kendrick Lamar. We did Kendrick Lamar, Miller Boomtown.
So you met Kendrick?
Basically,
so
and
dope.
we did 3 cities, a 3-city tour, which was in Joburg, Durban, and in Cape Town. So for me, it was like I'm doing this while I'm building something of my own back home, and that led to more stuff, because I went from Kendrick Lamar, I did the Kanye West Boomtown, to doing a lot of the Castlelite Unlocked projects also with them. And for me, it wasn't like to make money for myself. That was also feeding back to the business. Yeah. So every single opportunity,
you could invest it back in, back into the business.
We were pumping it in month to month. That's how we were actually surviving.
Okay, and then so off that initial 100K and the money you kept pumping in,
yes,
were the returns that you were seeing, did it take a while for you to see like returns where you're like, oh, sick, we're making some cash? Or was it quite quick? Were you quite like, oh, okay, we're making our money back quite quickly here?
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying, did it take some time?
The challenging thing about this is that I think when you go into business, right, and you don't necessarily have a full business background, you go with the flow with stuff.
Yeah, so, you just take it as it comes.
Yeah, you take it as it comes, because I mean, our business was always bringing in money, but we were not paying ourselves at all.
Yeah.
I only learned that lesson 8 years later, that you're supposed to be actually paying yourself. But what we did is, from when we started, the business was actually taking care of ourselves. Like, we could cover our rental, we could cover our electricity, travel cost, food, and which is essentially getting a salary. Yeah. So we had managed to do it, but it was a little bit different. So as we grew, I started learning more about finances and how cash flow actually works, and that's how things are changing. So I think from the beginning we were making money. I wouldn't say we've made back our returns, because we literally went from the first year putting down that 100K. A year later into the business, we ran into a challenge where our landlord actually sold the property and was like, try to evicting everybody.
Was that the initial property?
That's the initial, the initial place there. And right now it's currently dead. So running into that challenge, luckily we had a lawyer in place and we fought that. But we used that opportunity to buy some time to move out. So what that did was we were initially planning to stay there for 3 years and maybe even longer. Yeah. We ended up only staying there a year and a half and moved into the 400 square meter building.
The one we're in
this one
currently.
that we have currently, which meant that we basically had to start from scratch.
Yeah.
So we walked away without our deposit also from that other building.
Yeah.
So basically we went from putting 100K in the beginning to almost having to put the same amount again into the second building, because now we're sitting in a building that's 3 times the space, which meant that we had to we went into this building without actually being able to afford it.
Yeah.
But we took a risk.
You just had to take the plunge.
Yeah, we took a risk because even our rental, it doubled.
Okay, yeah. And the risk was worth it, eh?
It was worth it. I mean, long run, we've managed to keep it. We've had support. Also, some of our clienteles, they would chip in where they could. Like, for example, getting like a donation of a floor, which has actually ended up making this place what it is right now.
Yeah. So I'm quite sure I know the answer to this, but would you consider this your passion?
Yes.
Okay. So
100%.
you could do this for the rest of your life, no problems.
100%. Because what's cool about this is that we've been evolving with time. Like I mentioned, it went from just being an individual dancer to being in a dance crew to having a dance company to actually creating work with brands. Outside of music videos and working with different types of artists. And I get to tour the world with this thing. I mean, pre-COVID, but hopefully we're going to get to that point. But it's gotten to, which COVID has helped also because the world has become very small. Mm-hmm. So I have mates that are in LA and in the UK that actually see our work, that are connected with international brands and international choreographers, which work with big artists as well. So it's been quite a blessing, and I'm definitely enjoying this passion.
And you spoke about you had to move to this new venue, I think a year and a half earlier than you wanted to, which is, a bit of a challenge, bit of a hurdle. Would you say that's one of the biggest challenges you faced so far? What would you say is one of the biggest challenges you faced in the past, I think you said decade.
Yeah, a decade. Ooh,
is there one that stands out above the rest? Is there maybe one or two that you could share with us? Just,
I think,
what the challenge was and maybe how you overcame it. Because, if you didn't overcome it,
we wouldn't be here. So. I think that was not the biggest. I thought that would be. But as soon as we moved into here, we ran into another challenge, because when we initially started the business, we were focused on doing dance competitions. We went, as much as individuals, we were doing work outside of the space, but the academy was built for just dance competitions. So we got, I would say, banned, because that's what it was. We got banned from being part of the dance organization that we were doing. So that meant that our dancers didn't have a distribution system. They went to training, but we couldn't actually take them anywhere into train, and that would obviously affected our revenue. So the way we dealt with that was okay, cool. So if we can't be part of that competition, we need to go and win the biggest competition in the country, which at that time was SS Got Talent.
Okay.
So we worked ourselves up, and we won the competition.
Oh, really? Wow.
We actually won the competition, and what's crazy about that is we are actually the first and only dance act to win it.
What year was it that
this
you won?
was in 2016. This was in 2016 with 26 people. And I later only found out that at that time, we were one of 4 dance acts that have won it internationally as part of the Got Talent brand, which was cool. Never really even figured that out also. But where the challenge came in is that because obviously there's prize money behind it, right? There was 500K, and we won with a group of our
26
students. Our initial plan is we wanted to take that money and reinvest it into the business and into our students by actually giving them an international experience and building up the space and hopefully maybe owning our own building, But the challenge came with our clientele. It was split. Some people were for it and some people weren't for it.
Some people wanted
people wanted their cut. Some people thought that they deserved way more than what the business was willing to offer them. Some people said because they were paying us for a service, they were actually entitled to the entire cash money, and them as the clients have the right to to determine how it's actually split and what percentage comes into the business. So that was actually heartbreaking.
So what was the conclusion?
It came down to us having multiple meetings, bringing a lawyer in and creating almost like a settlement agreement whereby we reached a number where half went into the students and it got split and they could use it however way they wanted, and half went into the business. Okay. But what the cool part of that is, we wanted to go like reinvest in ourselves as the business owners, like I mentioned, that starting a business without necessarily a business background is a little bit difficult. And I know internationally there are companies that have been doing this for years and years and years, and we wanted to learn how they were doing it. So we took a risk. We left our business. We went to stay in LA. We actually got an opportunity to stay there for a year. But the problem was, one, it wasn't planned. Two, we didn't have any work. I mean, we don't have work visas, so that meant that we couldn't actually get formally work. So we literally took that money that we got that year, we lived on that, and then we changed things. We got like, for the first time ever, I went from just being a dancer to now getting a bartending job on weekends.
Oh, really?
Waitressing during the week in a food truck. We used to drive a food truck from like
Is
LA.
This in LA, eh?
Yes, in LA, from LA to Santa Monica. That was challenging because it meant us downscaling, number one. It meant us giving trust to other people to run our company, and that also led to us actually building a team, because before that it was just the two of us. And then fortunate enough, we had two guys that came in, Bugs and Rome, that came in ad hoc, and the initial thing, we had just asked them to step in for a month while we were gone to take in, and it ended up being a year. So we did lose a lot of people. That year took us 2 years back again. Because remember, we had just moved into the building, we were prospering, and then once we left, because everyone was so used to us as the owners running it and being there, and we left again, so we lost about 50% of our revenue. From there, that led to us, like, now we were back. That was in 2017. We literally officially started operating properly and rebuilding, because now we had gone through, I guess, all the challenges in terms of moving buildings, getting kicked out, leaving the country, restarting again. So it was like, as much as then we were running for 4 years, that year we came back, we switched up the entire format and how things ran. That also gave birth to the second business, which is the Kryptonite Creatives. Because like I mentioned, our focus was just dance competitions. As much as, yes, as us as the individuals, we were, doing corporate jobs, and we were like out by ourselves. We weren't necessarily building an agency for that. So we started building that from scratch.
Yeah. You've spoken about some of the, the achievements that you've had with the academy and stuff. Have you ever sat back and felt like you've made it? Was it maybe when you had the, one SA's Got Talents, when things kicked off with the new studio? Have you ever sat back and be like, okay, we've made it?
Not at all.
What would that look like for you then?
Not at all.
What would
I think
that, picture look like?
That picture would look like, one, us not stressing anymore about rent, us knowing that our, like, the dance academy business is operational by its own. It's able to pay salaries and good quality salaries to all our employees, and we're building in new talent in that space.
So would that include buying a building then?
That includes buying a building, reinvesting into our employees, and us able to like let go of it and not be there
kind of runs on its own.
Run on its own. And then our creative agency as well, which the dream is the creative agency will still run within the building, but it would have its own portion. That's us holistically. We would have made it knowing that on the creative agency side, we've got all the big clients, all the brands that are feeding into us, and we're creating all this work. I would like to do a lot of collaboration with all the big creative agencies, like your Joe Publics, like your Avatar agency as well. So that would be I've made it moment.
Yeah. And then, so if there was one thing you could have done differently, maybe in this, almost 10-year process, often you come into like crossroads where it's like maybe you have to make a decision here or there. Is there anything you would have done differently that you think might have put you a bit further ahead?
Yes.
Or is everything?
I think it's more of the financial side. So if we could have done anything differently, it's like when we started the business, we got an accountant and a lawyer, right? I think the key thing that we were missing was a financial planner. I would have brought in a financial planner at year one. I think that I always look back at it as like all the money that we've have been accumulating, because your accountant now focuses more of like taxes and just making sure that you're good there. But your financial advisor would now tell you, this is how much you're doing. These are all the different investments that you could be bought in. We could have bought our building by now already, I believe. Definitely.
Okay.
So that's the
that
one
sense,
key thing that I would have
maybe set you up a bit further.
Definitely.
I mean, we learn. We have to take these.
We have to take it. I mean, that's part of the journey of entrepreneurship, right?
And so genuinely, at the moment, would you say you're happy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think. Look, I might be stressed about the day-to-day running and making sure that are we gonna be able to make our overheads? Are we gonna be able to take care of our team? That outside of that stressing me, I wouldn't change anything else. I mean, I'm doing what I love. How many people can wake up and say like, I dance? I dance. I get to walk into corporate spaces as a dancer, as myself, without having to change myself and be free and actually get respect from
You're
that
just
space
living,
also.
pursuing your passion.
I'm living and pursuing my passion while I'm learning also at the same time.
And lastly, what is one message you would give to a young entrepreneur? Maybe you could think of it this way: maybe yourself in the beginning, if you could give a message to yourself.
Yeah.
But someone who's maybe that kid who's in a dance crew, has these big dreams of a dance academy. Is there one message you would want to give to him?
Don't neglect your network. I feel like I went to a boys' school where there's 300 boys in a grade. I could have tapped into that network way more. As much as it's not necessarily dance orientated, there's a lot of aspects in life that I've realized that, and I've met people that I used to go to school with or met in varsity. So I would just say, keep your close friends, because those are the same people that are going to assist you, even if they're not necessarily part of your business currently. The skill sets they learn in their own individual companies or their 9-to-5s are going to be the skill sets you're going to need to scale in the future.
Yeah, like you said, like obviously your industry is dance, but you still need a finance guy, you need a marketing guy, you need all of these things.
Yes.
So the network's very important for that.
Definitely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, look, I appreciate you coming on the show. It's been great.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. It was great.
That brings today's episode of None of Your Business to a close. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please support the show by subscribing to our YouTube channel and following us on iTunes and Spotify. You can also find us on Instagram at None of Your Business Pod. Just a quick shout out to Film Africa for helping with the production of today's episode. You'll find their links in the description. Thanks for the love, and I'll see you guys next week Monday at 5 p.m. South African time.